Hey, good morning, everyone. It's the two-stroke turbo channel. Stella has just decided that she is too camera shy to say hi to everyone. She had the zoomies, ended up just biting me in the butt because she wanted to run. And she does that. She gets all hyped up. She's a working dog. What are we doing today? What shop vlog can we impose upon our viewers? We're working on this 1986 Toyota Land Cruiser. I think we'll save this one for another video. It's a pretty cool rig. Doing a little maintenance work on that. We're working on our Fiat. Can everyone say Fiat early in the morning before your coffee? So timing belt was popping off this thing. I think we've got that figured out. I've been driving it back and forth to work to make sure the timing belt does not pop off. We have replaced the timing belt with a Gates, replaced the billet or aluminum adjustable cam pulley with the stock steel pulley, and replace the tensioner. And so far there is no rubber transfer on the tensioner, and that's good. I've got about 25 miles on this thing. I've left the covers off just to kind of see how things are going. Whenever I stop, I pop the hood and I check. It's amazing how hot it gets in this area. The engine being mid-engine doesn't get any air flowing across it at all. And the timing belt gets pretty warm. I thought the timing belt might be melting because it was leaving rubber transfer. So far it's doing good. This is a cool little car, but upon my road tests, or my extended road tests, the brakes are not sufficient. It has four-wheel disc. They work fine. They're manual brakes as a non-power assisted, but they're just hard as a rock and they just don't stop. I don't think I could skid if I tried. And I have a nice strong leg for pumping on the brakes, but I don't think anybody else could. So we're going to try something here. I ordered up these EBC pads. This is the green stuff. We're going to see if we can change the pad compound and make the car stop better. I'm hoping that'll do it. Again, there's nothing really wrong with the brakes except the pads are the old-fashioned semi-metallic, and they're just like bricks on metal, literally. So we're going to pop the wheels off, pop new pads on, and give it a try, and then I'll let you know the review on that. I'm hoping for a big improvement in braking performance. So that's what's going on today. We're working, as always, we're super busy. Did fire up a two-stroke car yesterday. Again, this is a two-stroke turbo channel. You see I have kind of rotated inventory here. The Singer is on this side, and the DKW two-stroke with the red roof fired up. It's a little, what do you say, fouled, or kind of needs to be driven. And look for an upcoming road test on that, because it'll be the first time it's been out on the open road under two-stroke power for a long time. It had a V8 in it, Chevy 350 small block, and I tooled around with it for a while, but this is the first time it's going to be on the road with a two-stroke. The 900cc 3-cylinder 2-cycle engine. So that's going to wrap up this for now. I will probably check back in a bit and let you know how those brakes are doing. We'll see if we can improve the stopping on this X19 Fiat. Okay, welcome back. So we've got our Fiat X19 up on the lift. We got our shoes off. We got the wheels laying on the ground, and we're going to take a look at the brakes. And specifically, the brakes on this car just aren't. They work fine. They don't lock up. It doesn't pull. Doesn't do anything strange. There's no leaks. They work fine, except they don't stop well. And if you look close at this rotor here, this is the rear rotor. Of course, it's solid. It looks to be in pretty good shape. Although if you look close, you can see there's brown in the contact area, which usually means the pads aren't gripping good enough. They're not digging in. Now, these pads are a little low, so it's probably time to change them. And then we've got the green stuff, EBC pads to go on there. Again, these are solid rotor. We're going to move to the front. Also solid rotor, but if you look, see the reflection here where my finger is? These ones are digging in, so the fronts are doing some work. These have a little bit of a lip on them, but they're not warped, and there's much more meat on these pads. You can see them sticking out more. So we're going to open up our boxes of green stuff, EBC pads, and I'm hoping these are the right ones. And we'll put those on and see if it makes a difference. One of the other reasons I wanted to do this was to exercise the calipers if in fact one of the calipers is seized or stuck, causing a super hard pedal. I can feel that when I push the piston back. If it doesn't want to go back easily, I may actually try to push the piston back and then step on the brake pedal and try to exercise the calipers. This car, I have a feeling, has sat around a little bit. It's got new shocks on there. It's nice. But you know, it's a sports car and it's a weekend car and it's old. It's in 1980, so it's been sitting for some time. Let's see if we can get something done. All right, so we got the calipers off of their cradles. These are nice, lightweight aluminum calipers. I'm actually surprised. And I'm going to push the piston back and see how hard it goes back. Yeah, there's a little bit of resistance there. What I think I'm going to do is, while I got this one caliper done, all the rest of them are still in the car, is pump the pedal a little bit, push that piston out, push it back in a couple times, just make sure that the caliper isn't seized or atrophied and causing my hard brake pedal. So I'm going to do that now. You got to be careful. You do not want to push the piston past where the seal is and it'll leak fluid and cause a real headache. As you can see, these pads are new, but they are the old semi-metallic, no ceramic, very hard, long-lasting pads. They'll work and they resist heat, but they don't grip or have a high coefficient of friction until they get really hot. So we might change that up. Okay, so our green pads are in. They're bright green. They fit fine. These are made in the UK. They have some type of special coefficient of friction that really helps out brakes. I've used them in a couple circumstances like this where the car doesn't stop good. So these are the old semi-metallic pads. You can see the shine on there as I rotate the pad or kind of twist it back and forth on the shop lights. And this is the new pad, which has the break-in surface. The pink is the bed-in surface. And I don't know, it's probably still metallic, but it's some other compound, and they seem to work really well. They say it can take up to 1,000 miles for them to really work themselves in. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so I'm moving around on their side to do the same thing, to exercise the aluminum caliper on the driver's side, and I spy with my mechanic's eye, we've got a split brake hose. You see that? See how the housing has kind of come apart from the ferrule there? That's not safe. So these hoses are going to get replaced. Both fronts always get replaced in sets. The rear, let's check this one too. Yep, this one's got a split in it as well. It's really hard because it's right where that fitting is, and that when you turn the wheels manually from working on the brakes, you can open up that gap. Yeah, these have been replaced. I think we're good on the rear. They look pretty new. Be safe out there. Okay, we moved on to the rears of our Fiat X19. It's a little different. The caliper has the e-brake attached in the rear, so you've got to wind the piston in. So you need a little tool to do that. Basically, you have this compression tool, and it's got a couple of teeth on here if I can keep it from all falling apart. See those little knobs on there? Those need to engage with that slot, and you got to wind the piston back in. So you can see these rotors are not sharp and shiny. I'm hoping by changing the pads, kind of glazed, semi-metallic, to these new EBC, not very thick pads, but I hope, I don't know, I'm hoping that this takes care of the braking or lack of braking, just the lack of feel. Super hard pedal and not very efficient braking. We'll see. Okay, we've got our shoes back on, and if you look in between the spokes of the wheel there, you can see our bright green pads. Now, I exercised all the calipers, and like I said, sometimes when cars sit, the calipers become stiff. Let's see if this pedal feels any better. Can't really tell. Still feels pretty firm. Just going to pull it out of the shop here. Put it in reverse. Come on. There we go. Yeah, pedal's still hard. Now it's going to take some driving to get those pads to seat in, so I'm going to have to report back in 20 or 30 miles. Still, you want to go for a ride?